Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here, and in today's video we are going to look at some of the unusual exercises that Abe Goldberg, Silver Era legend, used and advised students in his gym in the 1950s for growing the size of the ribcage as pictured here. This has got to be one of the best photos I've ever seen, not just of Abe Goldberg, but of the capability of Silver Era bodybuilders, what they were able to do with their structure. I mean, this picture speaks 1,000 words. It is one of the best side chest poses I have ever come across in my magazine collection. And I mean, it just displays the difference in training back then when it came to bodybuilding. It was a whole different game altogether. It was not just muscle building, it was the whole organic organism was being built. And it's just one of the best photos ever that I've ever seen. It's just brilliant. Abe Goldberg was able to develop easily one of the most impressive rib cages in bodybuilding history. Just look at this photo. It's incredible. This is Abe in his absolute prime. The man had a barrel, not a chest. It was ridiculous in size. It's just enormous. Abe was a big believer that if one seeks to develop oneself to one's maximum potential, that is to get absolutely massive, one had to work on movements that affected the structure, that is the skeletal structure, and not just muscle growth, which is the trend nowadays. And this makes so much sense. This is, again, very typical and, reflects the intelligent approach of Silver Era bodybuilding. I just want to have a quote right now from Abe Goldberg. I just want to share this with you. In these days, this is in the 1950s, in these days when massive muscularity is so popular, bodybuilders sometimes lose sight of the fact that the structural size of an individual imposes certain restrictions on his ultimate development. Instead of paying attention to this fact, their main attention is centered around movements which will stimulate muscle growth only, instead of structural improvement. This is wrong, and isn't he right? Abe Goldberg, just like many of these Silver Era legends, believed that the bone structure could be enlarged over a long period of time. Not dramatically either, but thickened sufficiently to have a visual effect in one's physique. And as Abe Goldberg puts it, it is a mistake for any bodybuilder to hold back on increased size because he only thinks of the chest, as an example, as the surface muscle. The chest must be thought of in terms of the rib box as well. As he puts it, to quote Abe Goldberg again, "Don't try to pack on more muscle on an already overloaded bone structure. Instead, try to increase its size, which will then help you add more muscle to the enlarged skeletal structure." Now, I have to admit, this is super advice coming again from Abe Goldberg. Very hard to argue with him. Again, just look at this impressive side chest pose from Abe Goldberg. Now, besides his squats, that's breathing his squats, which are highly recommended for increasing the size of the rib box due to the heavy breathing that is stimulated with this exercise. I've talked about it before in several videos. The article I read by Abe Goldberg lists some unusual exercises for increasing the rib box, which one should add and perform in conjunction to his breathing squats. And here they are. These include the rebound pullover, the breathing dumbbell fly on a bench, the chest raised pullover, dumbbell flies, again breathing dumbbell flies done on a declined bench, and the lying chest pressure exercise. Now, these are some pretty good exercises. I've just discovered these reading this amazing article from Abe Goldberg, and I'm going to briefly explain these with some diagrams from the article itself as I read the explanation for each exercise. The first exercise given in the article was the rebound pullover, which is very much like a dumbbell fly but performed with a swing bell. I recently talked about the swing bell John Grimmick and other Silver Era legends use this, and it's time it comes back in the gym. Anyway, it was done with a swing bell. You basically lie on the floor as pictured, with your back flat and your legs bent, holding the swing bell above your chest, and you breathe in deep as you lower the swing bell above your head, and you raise the chest, but keeping your back flat. That's very important. You breathe out as you raise the swing bell. Essentially, it's very important that the chest be raised in this exercise. These are the major tips, and that you keep the back flat. What's very common about all the exercises in this routine is that you really want to focus on breathing. You really want to consciously have deep breaths as you perform the exercises. Now, for this particular exercise, you want to perform 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Now, the next exercise, being the breathing dumbbell fly, is like a dumbbell fly, except you are focusing on deep breathing, not on flexing the pectoral muscles. Again, this comes directly from the advice of Abe Goldberg. You want to also raise the legs up onto the bench because it'll help you stretch out the rib box better. And in this exercise, you are actually allowed to, curve the back as shown in the exercise, if necessary, of course, because it's actually going to help you stretch that rib cage out. So you want to start with the dumbbells over the chest as you would a normal dumbbell fly. And as you lower the dumbbells, you breathe in deep and lower the dumbbells as much as possible, getting a stretch. Here you want to keep the arms slightly bent, just slightly bent. And again, you can curve the lower back. You can arch the lower back if necessary. And of course, you want to breathe out as the dumbbells come back overhead. Perform 2 sets of 15 repetitions. The next exercise is the chest raised pullover. You want to use a very light barbell to start off with. And if you have access to it, ideally use a moon bench, or you can lie across a flat bench as it is now commonly performed. The most important thing is to curve or arch the back, that is the whole back, to exaggerate the stretch. This is why the moon bench back in the day was actually invented, but in the golden era, most bodybuilders which didn't have access to the moon bench actually just began doing it across the bench. So that's why it's done like that mostly nowadays, if done at all, that is, because I don't see it perform much in the gyms. You're going to hold the barbell at the thighs as you lay across the bench or as you lay on a moon bench. And as you bring the barbell overhead and behind you, you want to breathe in deep whilst arching your chest as much as possible and raising the chest. Very important is to focus not just on the breathing, but on raising the chest. That is, raising the ribs. It's going to help stretch out all that cartilage. You're going to breathe out as you lower the barbell back to the thighs and repeat for 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Now here is another great exercise given again and demonstrated by Abe Goldberg. That is dumbbell flies on a decline bench and bringing the dumbbells not just to the sides but back, towards the head. Why? Why towards the head? Well, Abe Goldberg says that this helps stretch and grow the uppermost part of the rib box, where there's a lot of sinew and tendons and ligaments. So you want to hold the dumbbells above the chest as you would a normal dumbbell fly, but as you breathe in and lower the dumbbells, you lower the dumbbells out to the side and back towards your head. And then you breathe out and bring the dumbbells above your chest again. You want to repeat this exercise for 2 sets of 15 repetitions. I tried it the other day and you can really feel the stretching at the upper chest. So again, I just trust what these guys said back then. It worked for them and it should work for us. Now this last exercise I've actually read from this one before, but it was also given in this article, so I'm going to just talk about it too. It's the lying chest pressure exercise. Again, Abe Goldberg recommends this. It's an excellent exercise. You're going to lie on the floor, and what you do is you place, for example, a 20-pound plate on your chest. If you want, you can put a towel underneath. And you inhale as you breathe in. You want to raise your chest as much as possible. It's actually going to strengthen the musculature around the rib cage too. So we're talking about all your costal muscles, right? The intercostals especially. And then you're going to lower slowly and repeat. So this whole exercise routine doesn't just focus on stretching out the cartilage, but on strengthening the structure once it is enlarged by strengthening the muscles involved in breathing. I love this routine. I mean, the intelligence behind this kind of routine just amazes me. This is going to work the intercostals, the serratus, and the diaphragm, of course. So it's going to give you it's going to back up the new structural changes with muscular strength in your in the organic breathing that you'll be able to do now, the increased breathing that you'll be able to perform now, because with much heavy and deep breathing, your lung capacity is going to increase, and having the musculature exercised that is involved in breathing is just another brilliant idea from Abe Goldberg. I just love reading these articles, these treasure pieces from the past. I mean, no one does this kind of stuff before, so it's wonderful. Excuse my excitement. Again, so you want to place the plate on your chest, that is the weight plate. As you inhale, you raise the chest as much as possible, and then you lower slowly and repeat. This is not done fast, it's done slowly. Right, you want to increase the muscular strength and endurance of the serratus, of the intercostals, of all the breathing muscles. And again, you want to use the rib box only, that is your ribs only, to raise the plate as much as possible as you breathe in. You don't want to be arching your back on this one. Again, perform just 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Notice that all the exercises are just done for 2 sets of 15 repetitions, because it's not about doing 5 or 6 reps and increasing the weight. No, it's about increasing the reps and increasing all that breathing. It's a lot of breathing for high reps. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the Silver era as well as the Bronze era methods of expanding the rib cage, please visit my website www.goldenerabookworm.com, where you're going to find several titles from Chaz Trevor. Here are some excellent exercises, especially on just using free bodyweight exercises for developing the rib cage, as well as Reeves's rib cage full body routine and Reg Park's guide to the development of the rib cage. All available on my website www.goldenerabookworm.com. So I do hope you have enjoyed watching this video and learning about Abe Goldberg's favorite rib box exercises. There is a lot to reflect from Abe Goldberg's advice and wisdom, and sure, many people will disagree with these statements from Abe Goldberg and believe that rib box expansion is not possible. Yet it has been scientifically proven, and exercises such as these have been used by medical practitioners and physiotherapists for years, if not decades. But the ignorant can remain ignorant, and as they say, you can't help the helpless. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so, to support the channel, become a patron and enjoy my bodybuilding library, or visit my website for out-of-print books and courses, or please donate via PayPal. And to get in touch and pass on your bodybuilding relics, magazines, books, etc., simply email me. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. To take full advantage of my collaboration with Old School Labs, please visit their website and choose from their marvelous range of supplements using my code BOOKWORM12. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.